Hello and welcome. You're now traveling through a slightly similar but different dimension of not only time and sweeps, but of infinite realities and decisions. A wondrous place that is adjacent to a realm adjacent to normalcy. Maybe it's magic, maybe it's comic book, or perhaps a third thing. Today, I'm your host, Connor Meinke.
I'm Gary Monnig.
And I'm Wyatt Zirkle. And this week we are talking about multiverses. Now follow us as we take you on a journey and ponder the question, what are they even talking about?
Alright, so Spider-Man No Way Home. Wow.
Crazy.
What a trailer.
Right.
Holy crap.
Audience, we were all texting each other in our group chat, just
Like-
freaking out,
like-
having...
Literally dropped
Like
the
I was
bomb
about
on
to
us.
upload this episode 2. I was in YouTube. I was about to put in the password for the Time Sweets YouTube channel, and then I just saw it. I saw it in my recommended, and I was like, ah!
Yeah, I mean, like, things we'd never expect to happen are happening. Like, so everyone's always been, like, a big, like, on the internet, everyone's like, Toby's gonna be in this movie, Andrew's gonna be in this movie, and I was like, I don't know if I'm not subscribing to that theory yet, because I mean that would be such a big
That's a lot of
It'll
logistics.
be a big deal.
right. And I was like, I was on the side where it was just gonna be like, Tom Holland's gonna fight the Sinister Six. That was the thing that I subscribed to. But now that we have this trailer, I'm like, Andrew and Toby might be in this movie.
I mean, like, whenever Alfred Molina got casted, I kind of I was like, oh my god, it might actually be happening. But and like when Alfred Molina just was like, yeah, this is what's happening. I'm not gonna say if Toby's gonna be in it or Andrew's gonna be in it, but I'm gonna be in it, and I'm gonna be the one that's from the Raimi universe. Like that, like he went on interview and said it. But
Right.
I was just like, okay, maybe he's just teasing, or like, I don't know. But he, is this the first time actually that Tom Holland shut up about something?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when you know if something's actually happening.
Mhm.
When Tom Holland doesn't accidentally spoil it.
yeah.
They pulled up big guns to make sure that he shut up.
Well, even like Tom Holland's like, y'all aren't ready, and I'm just like, okay, I am ready. Just release the movie now. I don't want to wait. I don't
My
wanna wait
body
any longer.
is ready.
right.
I need it now, in my vein, directly.
The question is though, for me, do you think there'll be any more Spider-Man in this movie, or do you think it'll just be live action Spider-Man?
I mean, they haven't seen Emma Stone around the set, so I don't think they'd do Spider-Gwen. But maybe they'll
I think there's
pull
a
it
small
out of there.
chance
You know what? And
that we could see a Miles Morales cameo.
oh yeah,
I would like to see like portals opening and just see into different universes, like maybe like the PS4 universe. We see a portal open up and you see the white spider on the back just swinging around with a Miles Morales following him, or
That'd be amazing.
the
if there was
Spider-Verse movie.
small
like-
cameos.
right. Just I don't need them to even talk. I just want to see them.
I think it'd be funny if the Spider-Verse movie, if it was still animated, like
Yeah.
in the portal hole. Because
That'd
then
be
it's
funny.
like some Mary Poppins stuff to me. I find that absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Wow, I just
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
Get a good old cameo of John Mulaney.
That'd be great.
I just want I mean, the first movie I went to go see was actually Jungle Book 2, but the first movie I remember seeing at all. I mean, I don't remember the viewing experience because I was little, but I remember going to the movies and seeing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
I remember bits and pieces. I mean, I have a decent memory, but it's just that's my first if I can go back and remember actually doing it,
Mm-hmm.
going to see Spider-Man 2. And that is something I don't want to forget.
Well, I saw a meme, and it was kind of like the memes that came around when Endgame came out, where it was like a little kid sitting in a movie theater watching Iron Man, and then it was like a little like an adult sitting in a movie theater watching Endgame. Like I've been seeing a lot of those memes about seeing like Doc Ock back in
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 and then
Yeah.
seeing him now
Yeah.
in 2021
I mean,
and I'm just like, that hits hard, man, because I'm sure I could speak for all of us when I say these Spider-Man movies were a massive part of even just getting us into the superhero, like just superheroes
Yeah.
in general.
If you were a kid in the 2000s, you watched one of these Spider-Man movies.
At least one. Like,
At some point, you saw a Tobey Maguire movie, or you saw an Andrew Garfield movie, or both, or you've seen all of them.
hell, we literally have the Blu-ray copies of
Sitting
Raimi,
right here next to
Raimi
us,
Spider-Man right here.
ready to swear on them like they're a Bible.
Yes.
some movies I actually want to buy are the Andrew Garfield ones because I don't own them and on anything, and they're not on any. Well, I don't have Stars,
I mean, I
like Stars app.
Eh.
But like,
I enjoy them. I mean, the second one I don't enjoy as much.
I don't like the second one, but I really like the first one. I think they had like, I mean, the lizard kind of bothered me.
It had
but
potential. If
it was-
Avi Arad could
I liked
just
it.
screw off, it would have been a great Spider-Man movie. If you don't know, Avi Arad he was originally a toy maker, and then he became a Sony executive, and he's had his hand over everything Spider-Man for a long time. He's screwed over Spider-Man 3. He kind of messed up Amazing Spider-Man 2. And so far, he hasn't really messed up anything in terms of the current Spider-Man run. But, like, he's the reason that Venom and, like, all the villains were in Spider-Man 3, which kind of threw off the plot.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
because it was originally just
villains
going to be
that
spent.
were not supposed to be
It was
in there.
originally supposed to be just Sandman. Because
Venom wasn't in the movie at all. Like
No.
black symbiote
No.
suit.
No, and not in the script at all. And Sandman, the reason Sam Raimi wanted to do it is because he understood him, and like, you know, like all the Raimi villains had motivations that made sense.
Right.
Like, Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, he wanted to further. What was his motive? I haven't seen the movie in such a long time.
It's been a while since.
Well,
I've
he
seen
wanted
that
to
first one.
enhance like human,
Yeah, he wanted, and
like-
yeah.
the human race, and then just overall like.
And the government wouldn't give him money, so
Right.
like he
Yeah,
took
he
his
was-
own.
Wasn't he kind of
was
working on
making-
like a super soldier serum almost,
Kinda,
in like
yeah.
quotation
Yeah.
marks?
Like
Like,
the glider and the suit was part of a program that he was trying to sell to the government,
mhm,
and
and then they were supposed to be it was supposed to help him be like stronger, faster.
right.
yeah.
Like the same reason that they were working on a spider at an Oscorp lab was to like make super soldiers
Yeah.
essentially.
And like Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, his motivation was like, I want to realize my dream in the name of my now deceased wife,
Right.
who helped me realize that dream, and then that dream got shattered by Spider-Man in quotations when it was just the fact that it wasn't possible. But like in Sandman, he wants to see his daughter,
Mhm.
so he breaks out of prison and stuff, and like but like he didn't like Sam Raimi didn't really understand Venom. I mean, he got his motivation.
Well, because we
down.
did have Spider-Man 4 like guaranteed,
in the works.
like so like I think that's where he was gonna bring in Venom or gonna bring in like an Harry as like
I don't think
Goblin
I
Jr..
don't think he wanted to use Venom, because this whole thing was. I thought for the original Spider-Man 3 plot is he wanted to use Vulture.
No, he wanted to use Sandman for 3.
I thought it was supposed to be Sandman and Vulture
no
because they were supposed to be
I
a
don't know.
juxtaposition of the two characters.
I don't know.
Sandman is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and he's kind of been forgot about since that movie. So I'm really excited because like there's this shot in the trailer where lightning is striking a big sand wall that forms in front of Spider-Man. Like that's Sandman, I think. Like it has to be.
I'm thinking that's an explosion, but at the same time, I don't know who.
That's
else
what I thought. But
they
then
could include.
that's what I thought. But then you see the wall go up before the lightning strikes the ground.
I think that's because it's lightning.
But like, I don't know. They're definitely doing some sort of Sinister Six thing with this
They
movie.
definitely
Yeah,
have to be.
like with
It would be.
Well, and everyone's like, "Who's the sixth member?" It's definitely Vulture. Okay, like he's.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I,
like
I
he-
think it's Vulture
but like
because I think there's a Lego set out where Vulture from No
but
Way Home.
like
There is, but it's him attacking the truck that had the stuff from Homecoming.
and they do that before. I mean, they release sets that have nothing to do with the movie. Like whenever like Iron Man 3 came out, they had not to spoil like who Iron Patriot was. I think they made a set with Rhodey as War Machine, and like they had like a boat, like Killian was in a boat or something. I don't know. Like, and it was just like, and they do that to throw us off.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. To connect like the whole Marvel Spider-Verse, like the MCU Spider-Verse with the actual movie, the Spider-Verse is something I'd really like to see. And then like I want to see some Spider-Man that we haven't seen on screen ever, like Spider-Man UK or Spider UK.
Or like where he's like the punk rocker with the denim vest.
No, or yeah, that one. I thought you were saying Spider UK was that one.
Well, isn't the punk Spider-Man also British? And then there's the one that does have the Union Jack. Like he doesn't have a spider. He has like his suit's
Yeah,
the Union
it is
Jack.
the Union. Yeah,
It just has the webbing.
mm-hmm.
What's that dude's name again?
Good question.
I don't know, but he's like a badass. Like
Yeah.
he's like really strong. He like kind of in the Spider-Verse comic books that at least that I have, he kind of like is the head guy in charge. Spider UK is, 'cause, like he's older than like the Peter Parkers.
He
like
just is.
like
Well,
he's just older than the
Yeah.
other characters. Like he's not like 16. Like he's like an actual
Well, like
adult.
Peter in the comic books isn't 16 anymore either.
Well, I don't even think Peter is like Peter's like they're like trying to find Peter and like Peter Parker in this one.
Like
it's like him,
616?
Miles.
I think the main Peter.
It's like him, Miles, and like Gwen and Noir. I don't know. It's like
really hoping with them opening up this introduction of everything that we do get to see more. That this does connect more things together in the slightest. Like we have that one trailer for Morbius, and Michael Keaton's in it.
right.
And it's pretty much, it has to be assumed that he's playing Adrian Toomes. He is the Vulture. So what is he doing in that moment? What is he there for? And there's also been rumor that supposedly Venom's in the movie, and the director accidentally said that like Eddie Brock is in the movie.
Do you think it'll be Eddie Brock from the Venom movie, or do you think it'll be like a different Eddie Brock?
I'm thinking it has to be Tom Hardy.
If it's Topher Grace, I'm gonna cry. Like,
If
yeah.
it's Topher Grace, somebody's better lose their job. It's
Topher
not.
Grace
They
is-
shouldn't even
yeah.
reference. I mean, like
It's not against Topher Grace. It's just that like, why? That it feels like that would be a bad choice to go back and be like, oh yeah, you know, the one that everybody makes fun of. Let's bring him back.
but
right.
like, it also
well, and see that's why like if they bring back Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2, everyone's gonna hate that.
I would legitimately walk out of the theater.
Not one person would enjoy that. But
Anybody
like, I'm
who
excited
says
to
that
see
they like-
Jamie Foxx maybe redeem himself as Electro.
right, because he's a good actor too.
Right. And like,
Jamie
it was
Foxx.
just I think that character with him was just writing. Like, they didn't write him very well. I think.
Well, yeah, and it was kind of just also studio interference.
True.
Like, and Andrew Garfield's gone out and said like, a lot of decisions were made for the sale of toys.
Right.
Like, Rhino, totally unnecessary character in the movie. He's in the beginning and the end.
A lot of people think he's gonna be the 6th member.
I'd rather see that than a lot of things, to be honest.
I mean,
'cause
yeah, it would
Rhino-
actually do him justice.
Yeah, everybody they don't talk about Rhino.
Right. Well, I think I like Rhino more as an 8-foot tall Russian man rather than a short one, a 5'4" one
But like,
in a
how
robot
would they,
suit.
How would they do that though?
I like where he's both.
I don't
where he's
know.
a large Russian man in a
But
robot
it
suit.
would also kind of fit.
We have
I
a
mean,
Hulk. Well, I mean, like there's a Hulk, and we have Thanos.
But it would also kind of fit like the main theme of like the Spider-Man villains so far in the new continuity.
True. But like, what if it's a Rhino from
Another
Toby's universe
universe.
or another universe? Like, because the thing I liked
Oh,
about
yeah.
Toby's villains is that like they weren't
they were
mainly tech based. You
They
know,
were actually.
they were actually like superpowered
Also,
beings.
Can we please have goddamn Uncle Ben in the
We need to
MCU?
reference him.
I
at
swear
some
to
point.
God.
yeah, we don't
like,
actually
we
need
need-
him. We just need a reference to him.
Exactly.
It's weird to have him without.
Because
At
even
all.
in a movie about Batman, that Batman you don't see Batman's parents get killed, he at least mentions them.
You're right.
Because they're a
should
part
at
of
least
his
see
story.
the painting in the background.
Exactly.
There
It's like
is
if
no
they-
Spider-Man without the Uncle Ben.
Exactly.
It's kind of like if they made Batman and just completely threw away the idea of Wayne Manor or everything that his parents stood for. This is a dig at a certain director where they burnt down Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
I'm still a little heated for a few reasons. That's DC.
Wait, are you,
we'll get to
are
that.
you talking about
You know who
Christopher
I'm talking
Nolan?
about.
Because he
No.
did that too.
Different. He actually did it with reason when Batman became Bruce Wayne. When they became one, everything changed for him.
Batfleck is still one of the best Batmen.
Who?
As Batman. And that's independent from Zack Snyder's crappy writing where he makes Batman just Superman? Clark Kent?
Who's one of the best Batman?
Ben
Affleck in and of himself.
I think he's the best part of Batman v Superman.
He's the best part of the Snyder movies.
True.
Besides Gal Gadot. The actors themselves do a good job.
Yes.
It's just that Zack Snyder shouldn't be allowed to touch a superhero movie ever again.
I mean, so
he
like,
can't write. He made Batman not a detective, and that bothers me.
you remember how hyped we were when we saw the trailer in Batman v Superman where he's just plowing through all those guards?
Yeah, when Batman was doing Batman
when Batman
things.
was actually Batman. Batman is supposed to be the strongest a human can possibly be. Like, he is the peak of physical fitness for humans.
Right.
And that's the first time that we've seen that on screen.
In that way, where he's also just big.
True.
Because, like, I'd argue that, like, all the Batman have done a good job of, like, well, most of the Batman. I'm not really talking about the Schumacher films.
Mm-hmm.
Even Adam West does a pretty good job of, like, he hits every target.
Right.
In the Schumacher films, they tried being, you know, like
I'm Arnold
the wacky.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chill
Ice.
out. Like, all that. But when it came down to it, he was missing that component that Adam West had where it worked. They're like, let's reference it and be kind of campy. But then they were like, yeah, we're being campy. And then it's just like, I'm looking at George Clooney's rubber nipples.
Right.
Yeah, like Michael Keaton literally walked off of Batman Forever. No, wait, is it Batman Forever? No, Batman Forever is the second.
No,
one?
Batman Forever.
Batman.
Batman
Bat-
Returns,
oh,
Batman Forever.
Okay, Batman Forever because
Batman and
Schumacher
Robin.
literally said, "Well, why is it?"
It's because Tim Burton didn't come
Well, and
back.
speaking, we're
And
about
also Schumacher said, "What? Why does it have to be so serious?" He literally said that, and Keaton was like, "Ah, okay."
But even Schumacher was quoted as saying he preferred Tim Burton's script and fought to have more of Tim Burton's script than what the studio wanted to have.
Why?
Because even Schumacher saw that there was a story that needed to be finished. As a person, he seems okay, and he did direct some okay movies. It's just not the Batman.
Well, and see, aren't we about to get Keaton back for the Flash movie?
Yes, we are.
And I know you're very
the
excited
best
about.
Batman
Yeah, I know you're
The
very
Batman.
excited about that.
that isn't Kevin Conroy.
And you're a big fan of just that version of Batman.
Oh yeah,
What's Batman's dad's name?
Thomas Wayne.
Thomas
Thomas
Wayne.
Wayne.
I'm sorry.
no, you're good.
But I just blank on it.
I-
I know it.
I want to iterate, just in case it's misconstrued in somehow. I'm a big fan of Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Thomas Wayne was a cool concept,
Mhm.
and then everybody's like, Thomas Wayne, yeah, Batman with guns, bah, 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 bah. And it's like, okay,
Jesus, Wyatt.
calm down. I'm a heavy Batman fan. You've heard me go on the Jason
Oh,
Todd.
I
rant.
know.
But like, I've seen so many people that are like, yeah, Thomas Wayne, he's a Batman that gets things done, and it's just like, but we don't need to use him every 5 minutes. And you could say that
Right.
for every comic book character, but at the same time, they like to use him because he's just a new stand-in for, well, oh look, Batman who uses guns and pushes the line, and then Bruce Wayne has to do the same thing again. Hey, Dad, stop using guns, multiverse father, because it's no longer Flashpoint, so they had to find a different way to introduce him.
Well, and see, there was a comic book where, like, I forget what line it was, what comic book line or run it was, but like I really enjoyed it because they worked alongside each other. Like
That was in the past
Bruce and
few
Thomason.
years.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that was.
I enjoyed it a lot.
It wasn't Doomsday Clock.
I can't remember.
What was it called?
I think it was like, I can't remember actually.
We can figure that out.
Yeah. Moving on.
It was very recent, part of the Rebirth era.
And now, since we're on the topic of DC, kind of the thing that introduced like multiverse and multiple Earths to a lot of people, new like fans of superheroes, the CW shows, like Flash, Arrow, like all that stuff. First few I was a big fan of CW shows for like the first few seasons of each show.
I'd agree with that.
Arrow was a great show
Oh my
when it
God,
started
Arrow!
off.
I love that.
It was awesome, and then so was Flash. For season 1 and season 2, I loved, and then season 3, I was like, okay, cool, and then season 4, I was like, okay, you lost me. I'm sorry.
I still appreciate that they at least give Flash the origin that he's supposed to have, kind of, like working for the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few people that don't quite understand how Flash's origin worked, but they make movies, and that's a different story.
At least they brought back the John Wesley ship.
Yeah, at least the CW did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my main, like, I guess we can say beef with Multiverses would probably be like, yeah, we brought it back. It's the last time you're gonna hear it.
No, it isn't.
Next time you want to have beef, you should just go to Wendy's. Okay. Where's the beef? Okay. Anyway, it's just like kind of
Blast
how
from
this.
the past.
Yeah, I know.
I'm leaving that in, by the way.
I know.
Good.
I know
That's my
you're
payback.
Days in.
That's my
am-
payback from last week for making me sound like an idiot.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
But what were you saying? Your beef with the
It's
multiverses?
just like I mean, it was fun in the beginning, like whenever they introduced Earth 2.
Well, see, that was like the main thing of
Like,
season 2.
Exactly.
Which I was like, I'm here for this.
yeah, but like after so long, it just got really convoluted. Like in Legends of Tomorrow, I mean, well, it's not necessarily it's time travel, but like every time they time travel, they kind of create an alternate reality.
Right. Well, and see, I really liked the first season of Legends of Tomorrow.
I know, and they had like a
Once what was the main guy like? Rip Hunter.
Rip Hunter.
Yeah.
Once he left the show and wasn't around anymore, I kind of stopped watching because he was kind of like my favorite character. I was like, future space cowboy, like.
And then they killed him like 3 times, and he was like, "I faked my death."
Right.
But
I just didn't.
But like the amount of them, like the amount of like alternate reality stuff that they have been doing,
Yeah, just
and like how they
thrown
kind
it to
of
the wind.
Have you guys watched the Crisis on Infinite Earth? Is that the most recent, crossover event?
yeah
Was that the most recent one?
yeah it was.
Whatever the most recent one was.
Because they did Crisis on Earth X, and then Elseworlds.
I really did not like it.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, they tried to adapt Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then I still don't know how to feel about the anti-monitor design, because it really is hard to adapt.
I mean
that.
it gave Arrow a decent ending. Like Arrow had a pretty great ending, I would say, out of the shows. I mean, it was okay.
Like the Arrow show?
Yeah,
because the way that they ended the whole event, like the whole crossover event, I like with Oliver. Like, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched
Nobody
it.
watches.
Yeah, but for when Oliver dies, the way he dies, I really did not like that.
Why not?
It felt dumb to me.
It
I
felt
was
like they wanted it to be dramatic,
right.
and then it was just kind of like,
They made him some grand being, like all powerful person,
Yeah.
and
the
I was
Spectre.
like, yes, thank you for I couldn't find the word, but I didn't like that. I was like, Oliver Queen is a guy who shoots arrows at people. Like, come on, guys.
Get
back to your roots.
The ending of the actual show, like the Crisis on Infinite Earths, kind of tied all the loose ends. Like, like Diggle, whenever like Barry went back in time and screwed shit up, Diggle went from having, I think, a daughter to a son, and then whenever Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, he ended up having twins.
Yeah. Well, because the whole universe was destroyed, right? And then they brought it back.
Yeah.
Or Oliver brought it back.
But also, John Diggle, is Green Lantern.
We never got to see him as Green Lantern.
I know,
he was
but
supposed
like
to show
it's
up in
teased.
Superman and Lois, I thought too.
He might still.
That
The
I want
show
to talk
ended.
about that
Superman
show.
and Lois is actually really
Superman
great.
and Lois is awesome.
I know.
Have you watched it?
It
I've
is
watched
great.
a lot of
love
it.
They had the first 5 episodes on HBO or something because they had to stop putting episodes out for some reason, and I watched those
COVID.
Right, and I watched those first 5 episodes, and I loved it, and I haven't seen anything since those
I know
first
the
5
rest
episodes.
of the episodes are on the CW app. I still haven't finished it yet. I know that the show had its finale recently, though.
It was, I loved that. I was like,
It is shot completely different from any of the other shows.
well, because I think they're like kind of doing their own thing. Like they're not gonna be a part of the CW
well,
stuff.
it will be. It's just like gonna be really far off, and they're only gonna do like rare like crossovers.
Well, because like when we got Superman, and like the CW, like to become like a regular in
Tyler Hoechlin is
quotation
actually a
marks,
real good Superman.
Yeah, and he actually tried out to be Superman.
like
when
Henry
Man of
Cavill's Superman.
Yeah. Which
But I love Henry Cavill as
Yeah.
Superman.
Henry
Like,
Cavill's a freaking
best thing Zack Snyder ever
great
did was
dude.
cast that man.
yeah, I love Man of Steel is the best DCEU movie.
I don't know about that.
What do you think is?
The Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, okay. I kind of forgot about that one. I was talking about
Even
out of the
The
Man of Steel,
main-
Wonder Woman, like
And I still have so many problems with
The-
that movie.
the main
except I
char-
can't
like the
pin
main
them
characters.
all on Zack Snyder himself because Christopher Nolan actually helped write that movie.
But I do agree, the Suicide Squad is the best DCEU film ever. Only because he is my background.
And I would also say
King Shark is my favorite ever.
the first Wonder Woman movie is.
It's good, yeah.
I liked it even for the weird historical inaccuracies that it has, like British tanks on a German airbase.
Mm-hmm.
Viewers, if you know me, I'm a history person.
He's going to college for it.
I like my history. So I'm sitting here when that movie came out, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. That's the wrong tank. That's the wrong tank.
And just Ares really bothered me in that.
His
that
design
movie.
changed
Yeah.
from what it was supposed to be.
But I liked it, I liked him in the movie that you don't like, this.
I actually
Justice League.
The
Okay,
Snyder
Wyatt,
cut.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
piss you off. I actually kind of enjoyed Zack Snyder's.
I can
Justice
see
League.
why people would, but my problem is he still
just
has a
have-
lack of understanding of these characters that are 80 years old. Batman vs. Superman is the epitome of that. I thought it was stupid in one way, and then I learned that it's stupid in a completely different way that's even more insulting.
What?
So, Batman.
Yeah.
Every time Batman and Superman have had a crossover, what does Batman do?
Kryptonite.
Before he gets to the kryptonite part.
He tries to confront
Well,
him.
Okay,
He
he figures out his identity
Yeah.
because he's a detective. The world's
Best.
greatest
Yeah.
detective.
And let me just say, the Christian Bale movie showed that amazingly. The detective part of Batman.
I think they showed the gadgets the best for him.
Yeah.
Like the EMP gun,
Mhm.
the weird plane helicopter.
Well, the part where he cuts the bullet out of the wall, like the bullet print out of
Yeah.
the wall,
that.
like the ballistics.
like
yeah.
that was cool to me. I was like, oh my god, it's Batman. But continue on with what you were saying.
So you get to Batman versus Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that maybe he thought I don't know. My initial thought was, oh, it's just poor writing, but it was intentional. The Martha scene, it was intentional. And there's people that'll say that it's artistic, it's amazing, it's a great scene, it's misunderstood. If you're telling me that that's misunderstood, I think you misunderstand Batman. Why would Batman not know who Superman's Earth Mommy is? He would know that her name is Martha Kent. He would know that Superman's Clark Kent. He would know where Lois Lane's dad's taking a poop. He would know that. Batman would know all these things because, get ready for it, he is Batman, the world's greatest detective.
Mhm.
His moniker is the world's greatest detective. So when it also came down to it, somebody also, like, they came back at me in an argument saying, he was blinded by rage. Okay.
It's Batman.
Let's use an argument where he's been, quote-unquote, blinded by rage before. He takes a moment and readjusts. He's never blinded for rage for months at 6 months at a time. That movie how long does that movie take place over? He's been angry
a
for that
long
long.
damn time.
But there's a certain degree where it's like, okay,
Well, we go
he
back
would
all the
do
way
his
back to Man of
research.
Steel in that movie.
Well, yeah,
At the
but how
beginning.
much time passes between those two moments, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Several months. I think it's like a.
Is it half a year
It's it's long. It's a long time.
between the Metropolis incident?
Well, because Batman, he needs his prep time.
He does.
Yeah,
And that's another part of the reason why it's like,
that's
so
my.
you're telling me he didn't know that Superman's mom was named Martha. That's what it was. I used to think that it's like, oh, it's dumb he didn't know that. But apparently it's supposed to be the fact that he didn't actually know that that was Clark Kent either. It's like, that's dumb.
So a movie.
This is Batman we're talking about.
right.
He would have figured it out by the sonic booms that happened throughout Metropolis.
Mhm.
Like he
not
did on that
not only that,
2000 show.
but like Batman would be able to clearly like see through the damn disguise.
Because he's
He's
the
Bat-
world's greatest detective.
And like, I'm saying this even though I kind of, and Wyatt, don't kill me. I enjoy the
I won't kill you. I'll
Snyder
just shave you
movies
while
a
you
little bit more. You can try.
Well, I enjoyed watching it as well, but my thing is that it was way too long. A lot of times,
That's another topic I can get
a
into.
lot of times, I felt like music was drowning everyone out.
For which one?
The Snyder cut.
Snyder Cut? Okay.
I was
thought
like,
we were
I
talking about
can't hear what they're
Batman versus
saying. Let me
Superman.
turn up the volume. Oh wait, the music is getting louder as well. So this is just it
Useless?
was poorly
It's
mixed.
totally
I-
useless.
That was my problems with it, and
Yeah.
I think that they were just Zack Snyder was just trying to do too much in one movie.
Forgive me for saying these terms, but I call it masturbatory. He likes to think that he's some kind of genius. He likes to think, I'm going to throw in some Christian imagery. Superman's a Christ character. Batman's a demon character. Everything's a Christ image. It's like, okay, before you want to throw in imagery like that, how about you take a second and write a story about characters in a specific way? And I'm not about to get into mopey Superman either, because there's always people like, Superman's been sad before. But even when Superman's been sad or mopey, you know what he's a symbol for? Hope.
Yep.
This Superman doesn't inspire hope.
Mm-hmm.
He's written to in the movies, but it seems more culty. They treat him as if he's a god, which also isn't the problem. It's the problem that he's still missing that core component of, I'm Superman.
Right.
You can do everything you can to me, but I will still give you the benefit of the doubt that I will save you at the end of the day. That's why he never kills Lex Luthor,
Mm-hmm.
because he's still worth saving.
One of the best Superman stories is Superman. I think it's like All-Star Superman.
All-Star Superman.
Yeah, and it actually like answers that question.
The best Superman story ever was actually Superman 64.
Oh
What is
God!
the story of the game?
I honestly
no.
don't know.
Fly through rings, boy.
So if you don't know, Superman 64. So I bought an N64 recently, and I've
Great
loved it.
decision.
Oh my God, yeah. But I went to Vintage Stock, which, if you're one of our few people who doesn't live around here, like where we live, it will either be Movie Trading Co., V Stock, or you just don't have it in your state. It's kind of like it's kind of like GameStop, but it's like you buy movies
More.
It's more than GameStop. It's better than
A
GameStop.
nerd pawn shop.
Don't go to GameStop. They rip you off.
well,
Okay.
Vintage stock rips you off.
Oh, they
too.
do.
Well, they do. They rip you off less though.
It depends. It depends on the
Wait.
product.
They offer me like $30 for my Xbox 360.
What year? What year was it?
It was the Slim.
What year? What were you trading it in?
It was like before COVID. BC.
That might be, yeah.
It was BC.
BC?
Like
Before COVID?
yeah, before COVID.
God damn
Before
it.
COVID?
God damn it.
Wait, are we gonna have two BCs?
No.
We're completely off topic here. Before Christ and then before COVID.
You know we don't use before Christ that often anymore, right?
But yeah, but like
We use BCE.
true. But like
before Common
still.
Era.
But still.
Like kind of how we started phasing out Anno Domini.
But still.
But still.
Anyway, Should we move away from superhero stuff, or do you have more things you would like to talk about?
If I get into it more, you're just gonna. The episode is gonna be a
It's just
different
gonna
topic.
be
It's
it's
just
gonna be a drag on Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
which
it's just gonna be me
I will.
going off on
I'm
Zack
gonna
Snyder.
personally stop that because
It will be an episode.
we have no. I mean, I have personally no problem with
When Zack
Snyder as a
Snyder's
person.
when Zack
As a
Snyder's
person,
next movie
He
comes
seems
out,
fine as a person.
when Zack Snyder's next movie comes out, Wyatt will have a solo episode of the podcast just shitting on it.
It's just me by myself in a room, no one else.
So
It's like J.
continuing
Jonah
on,
Jameson.
right? So continuing on though with the N64 stuff, I had a thought like a shower thought almost where I was like, is Nintendo a multiverse? Is Super Smash Brothers the multiverse movies of just Nintendo? Because you have almost every game that Nintendo's ever made, almost, not everything, but not even just Nintendo now. Like everything is in here, and they're all fighting each other. Well, there's the story mode as well.
You can
But
mine and craft now.
You can mine and craft in
Well,
the game.
and it's not even just Nintendo characters anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So is Nintendo / Super Smash Brothers multiverse stuff?
Why not?
I mean, like, it definitely could be
I like to
considered
think
as
it is
that.
because they all kind of come together. I feel like they've kind of talked about that, like Mario themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the games are like them putting on shows or having fun because they're friends.
Well, not only that, but like,
Have you heard the theory that Bowser and Peach are actually, like, they're actually a thing, and then, like, Mario keeps taking Peach from Bowser?
From Bowser.
Yeah.
Every time she's nice and like makes a cake for when he saves her, she's just like, "Oh yay! Please go away.
Right.
Leave me alone.
You saved me from my husband.
I can't file a restraining order."
But what do you guys think about that?
I think it would make sense. It just depends on what perspective you want to look at it. If like, is it like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing where all like they're trying to insinuate that all video games exist in this
like a Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, this liminal space of they all know each other. They all know of each other's existence.
Right.
Or
Well,
is it a
except
multiverse?
for Link, because it just depends on what incarnation it is.
Well, there's
Well,
actually
there's
three
incarnations of Link
in the latest.
Smash.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like,
There's
is
Toon
it the Hero
Link.
of Time? Hero of Time and the Hero Winds are.
There's
Well,
Toon Link.
Yeah.
There's Kid Link or Young Link, and there's just Link,
Yeah.
which I think this Link is like Breath of the Wild Link.
Yeah, and Young Link would be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Link, and Toon Link can cover like a few of the games like the Minish Cap and Four Swords, and then Wind Waker but like I don't know, it always kind of like.
Well, Zelda itself is
I mean, after
kind
Ocarina,
of a multiverse
yeah,
in
it
and
is.
of itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and I'm playing actually like the catalyst of like the multiverse in Zelda, which is Ocarina of Time, which is such a good game. It's frustrating, but it's such a good game. It has stood the test of time. Yeah, it's because it like Ocarina of Time like splits it off into 3 like distinct timelines, and then the developers were just like, oh, Breath of the Wild just happens after all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And like all like hardcore Zelda fans are just like modding because they're just like, when does it take place in the child timeline, adult timeline, or like what's the last name? What not last name, but like the last timeline? Is it like can't remember.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Zelda's always been more of your thing versus
Yeah,
what I
you're
know.
kind of our Zelda.
You're our
expert.
Zelda expert over here.
I can't remember the last timeline. Okay.
Honestly, my only experience with the Zelda verse is 15 minutes of Breath of the Wild, because I never picked it up again just because I just never did. And then Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
That's the only experience I have with that. Talking about Super Smash Brothers, I have some beefs with Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So they're separating characters just to make more characters.
Like Dr. Mario and
Mario.
and
Sheik and Zelda. That's
Well,
her
like-
counterpart, right?
well, yeah, but Sheik has a totally different moveset, right?
Yeah, but
We're gonna get into
still.
that. Dr. Mario also has different moves than regular Mario.
But like, well, yeah, but
Well, and see, this is why Pokemon Trainer is my favorite character, is because he's the last like 3 characters in one. Really, I also like the Ice Climbers, but they're kind of like your second person is kind of
I
useless.
mean, Rosalina, I think is like one of the
and
more
Luma,
Rosalina and Luma are actually the more like practical than Ice Climber.
yes, and that like Luna or Luma, what's the star's name?
I can't remember.
Good question.
Whatever the star's name is OP as heck in this game.
Like if you, yeah, like it's.
But this is off topic.
Is it?
Kind
It's
of.
Nintendo.
I mean, true. Also, I wanted to talk about the Pixar theory. I know it's not really a multiverse thing.
It's more like a singular.
It's more like a
unit.
single universe, but I thought it would fit in well with the episode. So for those of you, should I just go over like a brief summary of the?
Yeah,
The
I'd say so.
yeah.
Just in case.
So the Pixar theory is a theory that a lot of online internet people have put together, that all the movies that have been made by Pixar have been made by are in the same universe, starting with Brave and ending with Monsters Inc. So that's the timeline, and all the other movies fit in there. That somewhere. I'm not gonna go each movie in order, but so the theory is that Boo in Monsters Inc. is the witch in Brave. I'll link a good video by the Super Carlin Brothers below if you want to know more about the Pixar theory. But that's something that I was like, oh, multiverse, just universe. Like, I want to talk about the Pixar theory because this is a theory that I really well like subscribe to, because like the Pizza Planet truck is in every movie almost. I think every movie.
I think it's almost every movie. I feel like there's one that it's missing from. At
Well,
least
it's
one.
in like all the like. I think in Luca, which is the most recent movie, it's like a bike. Like it's a
I haven't
Pizza
seen
Planet
Toy Story in a while. I'm gonna have to
Pizza
watch it.
Planet bike. Like it's like a trike, and then like the back says Pizza Planet or something like that. But and then like freaking Boo, or like not Boo, the witch in Brave has a carving of Sully. Like you can't just make that up, man.
Doesn't she also have a carving of the Pizza Planet truck?
Yes, that's where the Pizza Planet truck is in that movie. Like what the heck, man?
Isn't there something else she has a carving of too?
No, I think it's just those two.
Is it
things.
like the Pixar ball or something?
No, I thought it was like Nemo himself or something.
So, but this is the thing. So the whole thing with Pixar is that the big is like it's death, like forgetting, like, and like humans like bring life to toys, to cars. So like the thing is like humans leave the planet, like the Wall-E plot, and then the cars start to wake up, and then they pollute the planet because their car is running on gasoline even more, and like Wall-E's picking up the planet somewhere else, whatever. And then so the whole idea is that like, and then like with Coco, like for the final death is just being forgotten by everyone. So the whole thing is that like Boo doesn't want to forget Sully, so she goes back in time and remembers him back in time, so she'll be born again and will remember Sully. Just a continuous loop.
This sounds really convoluted.
It is, but you just
This sounds really,
well,
really
and see,
convoluted.
like, think about it. In Brave, the witch knows like door magic. Like she'll like close the door and snap her fingers, and then
Yeah.
they're in a new place. Like she became obsessed with trying to find Sully, but Sully will forever live on in her memory, just like.
And I thought part of that theory was also that the monsters were from a future standpoint.
Well, so the theory with the monsters is that when the humans come back to Earth in Wall-E, the Earth is still radiated to, like the heck, and
they just start mutating.
They mutate into the monsters, and they're like, "Hey, we don't have nothing to power our crap with." So the theory goes is that the monster universe is really just future in time, and it runs alongside with our timeline in quotations. So like as that time goes forward, the time in the past will move forward. So they don't have like a time traveling method to like go to anywhere in time, just like a certain amount of time back in time. Like in retro, it is really convoluted.
What the hell?
But you need. I'm linking the video in the description below.
That involves
because
the idea of parallel time
they explain it
streams.
way better than I do.
that every piece of time occurs at the same time, so at one moment you can cross over into another because it's equivalent to you, because
Yay,
everything is
quantum
happening at
mechanics.
once.
Woo!
And that's its own science fiction idea in terms of time travel, which people wanted to misconstrue for multiverse ideas. And then we got Avengers Endgame.
True.
There's a big difference, and everybody's like, alternate dimensions.
Wow.
Dimensions and realities and universes are similar but different in terms of the Marvel Universe, so they're just like... So when it comes down to it, like, they're just like, we've created a slightly different dimension, but it can't affect us because we went to a different place. And it's like, wait, the stones have a set of rules. If you take them from one reality, that's the importance. They use the term reality at some point, don't they?
Yeah.
I thought it was just if you take them from their universe,
That's what I was getting to.
they're
'cause
not
a reality is a universe.
right.
That's why there's a reality stone. So when they take a reality stone from a different reality, the one place that they go back to, that stone's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
None of the stones would work.
None of the, well, because there's a big deal about that. There's a big comic book line, Fantastic Four, the Council of Reeds. There's a whole bunch of different reeds from a whole bunch of different realities, and they have this like council outside of the time loop, and like three reeds have full Infinity Gauntlets.
Yeah.
And they're not useful. And one point, so this whole comic book line is that the Eternals hunt the Council of Reeds down. The Eternals are like the gods of this of the Marvel universe almost.
They're like mutants, but gods.
Right. And they hunt them down, and the council, there's like this point where one of the reeds opens a portal from his universe, so his universe is like pouring in to like their area, so he could use his Infinity Gauntlet against them. I just thought that was cool. So you said like universe, and that reminded me of the Eternals trailer that we got recently as well.
I still haven't seen it.
So there's this part where they're showing
It's a better trailer than the first one.
they're showing Eternals in like the trailer, and there's the judge, I forget what his name is, it starts with the A.
Oh,
He's the red one.
yeah, that is the judge. I
Yeah.
don't remember his actual full
And then
name.
there was an Eternal holding a universe in their hands. I forget his name too. Mother trucker
It was a galaxy.
or galaxy.
They themselves, those guys aren't the Eternals. They have a different name. The Eternals are the
No,
guys that
the
they
Celestials.
make. Celestials. Thank you.
That's who I meant too. The
Because
Celestials hunt down the Council of Reeds. That's what I meant.
It's the Celestials.
It's the Celestials that hunt down Council of Reeds.
Okay, yeah, that's
So that makes more sense. Sorry, listeners who are really confused about just what we're talking about in general. But the Celestials were holding a universe in hand, and the Celestial Judge, she's the red one.
real quick for context. There's Celestials and then there's Eternals. Eternals are similar to the idea of mutants in Marvel in a way,
Right.
which is also weird because I think that's somehow how you get
Well,
Inhumans is when you get the Eternals breeding with humans, isn't it? No, because they cause the mutant gene.
The Eternals were on Earth way before
Right.
any.
I'm trying to remember how the
So
Inhumans
the
come together because
Eternals-
the Eternals have
I'm
affected
just
everything.
sitting here learning.
So the Eternals were that came around when the Celestials came to Earth experimenting on Neanderthals. And the Celestials created Homo sapiens, Eternals, and some third thing, which is what race Thanos is in the comic books. He's a part of that race, which is like they're messed up. They're Eternals.
They're Eternals
that are like the bad part of the experiment that
they call them
Celestials.
deviants.
Deviants. That is the word. Thank you, Wyatt.
And everybody likes to say Thanos is a deviant. He's got deviant
Not
DNA.
In this universe, right?
In this
Not
universe,
not
in this
in
universe,
MCU.
that's where they're wanting to push it more, is what I've seen.
That's where
In the
they want
comics, they're
Thanos
just
to
like,
be.
he's an Eternal. And in this, I've seen more people with the MCU saying, oh, he's a deviant. It's like, he isn't, though.
Well, he's a
He
Titan,
is an Eternal.
right? There's a Titan race.
That's the planet that he's from, yeah.
Yeah, and
He's a direct bloodline to the Eternals. He's Thena's first cousin.
okay, but
They share a grandpa.
and then so the Inhumans, I think, are a fall off of the Eternals.
Because I know somehow the Eternals also caused the mutant gene. So I
right.
don't remember where
So
the
the
Inhumans come from.
whole-
But the Celestials, the way it breaks down is the Celestials are the bosses to the Eternals.
So the
They're-
whole reason the Inhumans exist is because, aren't the Inhumans like a newer thing.
Sorta. I mean, they've been
Weren't
around.
they still created in the 60s too?
Yeah, they were around back in Medusa and the fish guy.
Black Bolt.
Not Black Bolt. It was like, I think it was, which one is like the Atlantean or like not Atlantean, but
He
Namor?
has fins.
Not Namor.
No.
He has fins. He looks like
Link?
a fish.
Missing Link or whatever.
No,
No, that's
but
from
they
a,
actually
Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh crap.
they
Or
actually
wait, is his name?
Medusa and that character appeared in like a comic, a Fantastic Four comic book.
Well, that's how they
before
introduced him.
Right.
Well, before Inhumans.
Right. It was just the royal family. They were in the Fantastic Four. The
Right.
royal family is like, I don't know. We're getting so far off. A lot of listeners are like, "What are they talking about?"
Hey, what? Hey,
That-
opening lines. What are
Yeah.
they even talking
What are
about?
they even talking about?
But so there's like, I don't think we're gonna get mutants in the MCU. Like, I would,
Not yet.
I would like.
How
to-
would they do that?
I don't know. I think they would.
It's easy.
They'd have to.
There's
reset.
too many like I think like it's too convoluted. All of comics is too convoluted to put it on screen.
It isn't.
I think it is because there's 4 different races on Earth. Like there's Homo sapiens, just regular old humans, average Joe person. There's mutants, there's Inhumans, and there's Eternals. And those last 2 I named are way more powerful. No, mutants are pretty powerful, but
Okay. So when it comes to Eternals, there's only like 7 of them on Earth. They were sent to Earth to guard Earth. They aren't like a reoccurring race on Earth.
they have a city on Earth.
It's
thought
not like a full thing. It's not like
it's not as
changed
big
over
as
and
the
over.
Inhumans city.
Right. And the Inhumans, aren't they on the moon?
They
There's
were.
a comic line where they are on the moon, but the mainstream one is that there's a city that can fly, so they're never in the same place and they can move, so like they never are found. Which
The
I'm
Inhu-
like,
the Inhumans were never really my thing.
yeah, I'm like, I got really into Black Bolt though.
Like, so
I
the more recent runs of Inhumans were just because, like, Fox was getting kind of pissy about Marvel writing.
Well, and you
about
remember that
Disney said
show
so.
that was gonna be canon to the MCU, but then they kind
Yeah,
of
it was-
scrapped that idea because they were
even-
like, this kind of sucks.
The first episode even premiered in theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
It was supposed to be big, and then everybody watched it and was like,
This
What-
sucks.
what-
It's kind of
wow.
like Agents of Shield. Like they don't consider that canon anymore.
which is a tragedy.
not for me. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like
wasn't
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D..
Ghost Rider. I
Ghost
never
Rider-
watched it.
that
I've
was the
never
best
watched an
part
episode.
of it
Ghost
for me.
Rider was in it, and then
In the first episode, it felt like that first
didn't
episode
Agent
I
Coulson
watched,
become Ghost Rider?
They did something where the spirit of vengeance went into everybody every 5 seconds.
But
It
like,
was-
but
I
like
don't know.
also, I really enjoyed the because like whenever it was still in the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
whenever Shield got compromised, dude, that was a great twist.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I remember sitting there. I was like, oh my god.
I would like to watch it. I've never watched Agents of Shield. Like,
I have
or Agent Carter, which is
Agent Carter's
Agent
worth it.
Carter's great.
yeah, but
That's great.
I don't think that show's canon anymore.
It is.
Are you sure?
they said-
Because I
well,
remember seeing
actually,
something
No,
where
they
that
said
wasn't
everything
canon.
that wasn't a show on Disney Plus is no longer canon.
That,
That's what they
that makes
said.
me sad.
That's what Feige said.
That sucks.
Except Agent Carter can still fit. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's never fit to me. And it's
Well,
not because
it
of the
hasn't
Coulson Avengers
fit.
thing. It's just because
It hasn't fit for a while.
ever since it started, it never fit.
Well, like if the first 2 seasons fit,
the
but,
whole
like,
bringing Coulson back to life just didn't feel right to me.
Well, that's the thing. I thought that was part
That
of
was,
the
like,
thing
the
in
main-
the MCU. I thought that was supposed to be the idea is he never actually died, and then they made the show. And it was supposed to follow him, and then it was like, this sucks. I remember being excited for it, and I could not watch it. And I just never touched it until Ghost Rider came back. So I watched that first episode again with Ghost Rider in it this
Mm.
time. And it's like, wow, this falls into every trope that's like a late night, quote unquote, late night TV show to get regular viewers. It's like, I think it was 5 seconds in and there was already like one butt on screen. And it's like, I'm sorry, I came for Ghost Rider. Sue me.
Well, if you watch the most recent Marvel movies and then go back to like Iron Man 1, they've like censored themselves hardcore. And
Yeah.
like even like
by Iron Man 3.
even like Hulk and stuff. Right. Like they just like
Avengers-
censored themselves.
well, ever
The
since
first
Disney
Avengers
bought
movie,
them,
it was like, that was when it was just like, shoop,
Right.
no more. They wanted to do the demon in the bottle story. Edward Norton wanted to make Bruce Banner suicidal? Because yeah, he's Bruce Banner.
There's still you could find that cut scene on YouTube of him. With the thing that Mark Ruffalo talks about in Avengers, he's like, I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out. You could watch Edward Norton do that
scene
on YouTube. Like,
and I think that universe would be an amazing one.
I really just meant
I
I
also-
love Mark Ruffalo. Don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
miss Edward Norton. Imagine the difference Hulk would, as a character would be.
I
now.
don't like to think about that too much because it would affect the trajectory of a lot of character story arcs, especially like Black Widow and Bruce Banner. Because I've always thought that was weird.
That was shoehorned.
Mm-hmm. Well, and speaking of
I didn't like Edward Norton.
Edward Norton, you didn't like Edward Norton?
I thought he's full of himself. Even seeing him on the screen there, it's like I can see that he likes the old Hulk show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he wanted it to be based on.
Yeah.
But part of me watching him do his thing, it's like, wow, this is great. Even now, it's like, this is great. And then hearing about him behind the scenes, he wanted so much control. It's like, okay, buddy. At that point, he was still, like, he did Fight Club and, of course, other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was a big deal, but there's still a certain point where it's like, you're just being like this because you think you can. Nobody has ever told you no.
Well, and see, speaking of Edward Norton's, like, Hulk movie, the movie that Marvel kind of wants you to forget about, we got a reference to that movie for the first time since
Yeah.
Avengers.
Abomination, yeah.
Well, not just then. In the latest episode of What If, the whole scene where he jumps out of that walkway.
Yeah, we get Betsy Ross.
Yes, we get
Was that
Betsy.
her name? Betsy?
Yeah, Betty Ross.
Betsy
we,
Ross.
We get
Betsy Ross.
we get
Where did that come from?
we get Betty Ross. Well, I always thought it sounded like when when they meet on that grass field at the college, he kind of sounds like he says Betsy, but we get a reference to that movie in the latest episode of What If.
I wanted to make sure Betsy Ross is who sewed
So is
together
Mark
the American
Ruffalo?
flag.
So was
Oh.
Mark Ruffalo like what they based the face off of?
Yeah, like it looks like Mark Ruffalo. It doesn't look like Edward Norton.
Which was weird for me watching the newest episode because in the first few minutes of the Watcher doing his spiel about all this stuff, like an infinite decision can change a whole universe, all
Right.
that good stuff.
Isn't this? I haven't
There's an
watched
image,
the whole episode.
and it looks like Edward Norton.
Yeah,
So it's like, why?
just make him Mark Ruffalo. Like he was recast. Well, see, one of my favorite recasts of the MCU was Rhodey.
I would
Oh,
agree with
Don
that.
Cheadle.
but
And that's not a dig on
only-
the other guy.
no.
I just like Don Cheadle.
I like
Well-
Don Cheadle, but I also like the other guy. I would have really liked to see his performance. But my favorite part about the whole switch of the actor is because the first line from Rhodey in Iron Man 2 is like, "Yes, it's me. Forget it. Like forget it. I'm here." Like
Yeah,
Like,
like
he-
very
it's
directly.
me. It's me. Deal with it.
like it's really just him talking to the audience. Like it's me. I'm here.
yeah,
deal with
I
it.
know. It's
Like,
me. Deal with it. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing that they've done with the whole change of actor. But yeah, a recast that we won't get is Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace.
Which is a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
It would be tragic.
Are you
recasting.
excited for
It'd be-
Shuri's adaptation of Black
I don't
Panther?
want to see that because I don't like the way they made her in the MCU. And
What, the Gen Zer that she is?
yeah, as soon as she said, "What are those?" I was done with her character.
I don't
I
know,
was
but like the
expecting-
death of her brother might bring out a serious
I
part
hope.
of her.
I also don't like what the actor advocates for. She said stuff about being against vaccines, and like Don Cheadle has even been like, "Just shut up," and that was before COVID.
Mm.
I haven't kept update.
Like she's
on
just
her.
completely anti-vax.
As far as I remember hearing, I don't want to spread
Not
misinformation.
just COVID, but like all
It was
vaccines.
like before
oh, okay.
COVID. She was just like one of the people that was like, "Whoa," you know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Well, and see, I don't know. Ironheart is being a big
I'm interested if they because
I hope
never
they
liked
do
in the
her right.
comics.
I hope they do her right on screen
Right.
because I'm not a big fan of her comic run, but I have high
would
hopes.
love to see
And
a
I
good
want-
version.
And I want what I would like to see out of that show is that the kid from Iron Man 3 is in that show as well.
Yeah, what was it called? Hartley something? Or was that the actor's name?
Harley.
Is it Harley?
It's something like that. But like I really liked him making like a appearance in Endgame at RDJ's
That was-
funeral.
yeah, that was nice. Alright, it's just Robert Downey Jr.
It's just Robert Downey
He's not
Jr.
Tony Stark anymore. It's just RDJ.
It's just Robert Downey Jr.
So there was they had to like change Tom, what's his freaking name? Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Thank you. I was about to say Hiddleston, and I'm like, no, that's Loki. They had to change his face because they told him during filming that he was at a
wedding.
wedding. So in like the actual scene, he's like grinning. He's like happy to be there. So they had to like go back and like change his face, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
They couldn't even tell him the truth. That's how you know
I feel like
you can't be trusted.
I feel like that was like the thing that catalyzed with the new movie, and he was just like, "Wow, they really don't trust me. I need to keep my mouth shut."
Or I would like to know like how many different movies they filmed.
Yeah, how many lies did they tell to keep everything?
Like how many different movies
Because like
can they make
initially,
out of all this?
whenever they first started shooting No Way Home, he's like, I don't know what the hell this movie's about, and he sounded genuine,
Right.
which is funny as hell.
Honestly, with
Best acting he's done.
honestly with actors with
Not to dig at
like
him, I just find it funny.
Yeah.
honestly, they might be doing a thing where they give him his lines for the day as he walks into set. You know, like here's your lines for the day. We'll just
That
go.
would be interesting.
We'll just go by it scene by scene. You don't have to memorize anything. You'll just read your lines before, and then you'll act. Like
Which even then,
right.
that would still have to reveal something at some point with this movie.
Well, and how little amount of press has
That's
been
what
for
I was
this movie.
about to say.
Right.
Like they
look
kept it
back at Avengers, the last two Avengers movies, and even like the previous Spider-Man movies. Like there was tons of press before the movie came out.
With this one, it's free press.
Right.
It's all free. All they had to do was release that trailer, and it broke In-Game's record.
Mm-hmm. And
And this
just
wasn't even when the
demolished
trailer
it.
was supposed to come out. I am 90% sure.
I think it was. I'm
it
a
was
big
released because of the person that leaked it the day before.
I'm a big believer in that. Like they released it a day before, just for like to get people excited. But
Yeah.
I also think the freaking calendar in WandaVision was marked for,
That's a pure coincidence.
and the first post that their Instagram, WandaVision's Instagram, has had in months was released on August 13th,
23rd.
23rd. Thank you.
It was them re-updating
And-
it to their story,
But
and I
it
did
was
think that
it
was
was
weird.
we've had our calendars marked for months or whatever.
And I think that was a last-minute decision.
Well,
Because
it's a good
the show-
touch. It's a good touch.
That was always going to be in the show. They didn't know that was always in the show. It was always in the script. They didn't know that they'd be releasing Spider-Man so late.
If that's a coincidence, props Marvel for thinking, be like, oh my god, the calendar in WandaVision. Like,
I think
let's make a post about
I
it.
think it was
Kevin
all
just
brilliant.
looks at the calendar. He's like,
Wait a minute.
hold
Holy
on
crap.
a minute.
The heart wasn't a heart. It was Spider-Man's face with a dent in the forehead.
Spider-Man after he got hit with a tentacle.
Spider-Man.
So, but I think we're out of time for this episode. Keep out for next week's episode because it will probably be the first actual movie review that we do, and because we're going to see Shang-Chi, and it comes out next Friday, so we will record, and then you'll get the episode Wednesday. So,
Yeah, that's all we have for today, guys. Thanks for listening to us ramble, and Wyatt, thank you for listening for an hour and however many minutes of Wyatt just shitting on Zack Snyder for some reason.
It's coming.
and complaining about, not complaining, but our extensive comic book knowledge that a lot of people probably just didn't understand.
What was it that Snyder said in Batman vs. Super? The bell has been rung.
Okay, we're almost done.
We're almost done. But
Such a
so the secret
calm down
word,
movie.
the secret word is Toby, after Tobey Maguire. So comment down below if you've made it this far, and if you've made it this far, Wyatt will mail you a golden sticker. So
I will find you, and I will put a sticker on you. Oh, like Man of Steel. There's another one. I will find him.
so anyway,
Okay,
guys.
Wyatt.
Having an episode.
Anyway, guys, thank you all so
He's
much for
literally
tuning in to
twitching.
this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.